Good day, everyone, and welcome to Arlington Cooks. I'm David Morrison. Today we're going to be making a perennial summertime favorite, cucumber and onion salad. For this recipe, you'll need 2 cucumbers, peeled. I've cut the ends off as well, and 1 onion. I've cut this one, a red onion, in half. You don't have to do that, but I've done that for the purposes of this demonstration. You don't have to use red onion. Other people, you can use a yellow onion or a sweet onion. I happen to like red onion, and I think it looks pretty in the bowl with the cucumber. So, to do this recipe today, I'm going to be using a tool called a mandolin. A mandolin is this device here. It's a cutting tool. It's a fixed edge cutting tool. That means that the blade remains static and you pass food over it to actually do the slicing. It is very, very sharp. That's why you use this tool here to help keep your fingers away from the blade. This one happens to be made by Microplane. They're made by a bunch of different people. You can spend a little money on them. I think this one here is $22, or you can spend a great deal of money on them. It's up to you. But they all basically work the same. They all have this fixed blade, and they're all very sharp. You'll also need some different kinds of vinegar. White vinegar. I also use red wine vinegar, and a fancy vinegar that I was given, which is balsamic vinegar, white balsamic vinegar, which is Sicilian lemon. But you can use other flavored vinegars if you will. It's up to you. I'll explain more about the vinegars when we come to that part of the recipe. So in order to work the mandolin with the cucumber, I generally cut the cucumber into thirds, so it's a little bit easier to use on the mandolin. You take the mandolin, and you can do a couple of passes with just your hands, just to get you used to it and get it set in the mandolin. You can see the slices there. This mandolin has 3 settings on it. I believe this is set for the thickest setting, so these will be about an eighth of an inch thick. So once you have it started, you can take this device, push it down, and you can see that it actually speedily cuts through the cucumber. I move the mandolin around so that the cucumber doesn't pile up in one place, and has a little bit of cucumber left. You can either use it in the salad if you want to, or throw it away. I tend to use it. The benefits of using a mandolin is it's easy. It's generally easy. It's generally very fast, and it gives you uniform slices without having to worry about cutting it, without using a knife. So you can see here how fast this goes. Again, the downside of the mandolin, like the downside of any knife, is that it's very sharp. So you can hurt yourself with it. You should not leave it out where your kids can play with it. It's generally best kept under, some kind of security if you have kids in the house. So there we are. All right. Now for the onion and the mandolin, I've cut the onion. I cut the stem end of the onion off. I've left the root end of the onion where the roots end. I've left that on because that helps keep the whole onion together while you're using it in the mandolin. Okay. So holding it like this, and again with the mandolin, you can start with just like this, and then you need to, once you get it on there, you need to go ahead and switch to the holder to avoid the risk of cutting yourself. Now this gives you, as you can tell, a pile of shaved, really, almost, onions for the salad, which will be really wonderful. They're just the right width and thickness. They'll be spread throughout the salad. They'll be delicious. Now, I'm not, Microplane is not giving me any money, and I know that those of you, there are people out there that don't have a mandolin, so I'll also show you how to use a regular knife to get the slices. What I do for that is I generally cut the cucumber in half. I usually come through, you see here, and take just the thin edge off the bottom of one of the sides of the cucumber. That lets the cucumber sit on a flat surface, so it's not going to move when I'm trying to cut it. That's a safety thing. Then using my fingers as a kind of guide for the knife, the thinness I want, I just use a paring knife to come in like this and cut the cucumber into the thicknesses I like. You can also get fairly uniform sizes this way. They maybe not quite as uniform as the mandolin, and they're certainly not as quick, but that's also an option if you don't happen to have a mandolin and don't want to buy one. On the onion, it's the same way. For that, I will probably use a heavier knife, my chef's knife here. And again, the flat surface lets the onion stay in one place. Grabbing it like so, I'm just using the onion to cut thin half moons with the chef's knife. I'll have Arlington Cooks will do a show demonstration later on this summer about knives and what kind of knives you should get and what you should expect them to do for you and how you should take care of them. But we haven't done that yet. All right, so here we have the onions from the knife. They seem to have held together better, except they really haven't. If you want to put them in the salad, they'll also fall apart, just like the onions from the mandolin. All right, so here you have your bowl of onions and sliced onions and sliced cucumber. Nice red and green mix here. I then add about a teaspoon of salt, but that's pretty much to taste. Other people can use less, you can use a little more if you want to. I happen to be in a household with people who like salt, so I use about a teaspoon, but you don't have to. As well as there's where I put it, wait, here it is. There's also, this is a point where you start to add the vinegar. Now, you can either add a half a cup, like I used to when I first started making this salad. You can use a half a cup of white vinegar, just from the supermarket, probably costs 79 cents, and that's fine. That actually will make you a nice salad, a nice, different, refreshing, crisp, tart salad for summertime. However, I've gotten away from that now. I use a quarter cup of white vinegar, so a quarter cup, and use a quarter cup of red wine vinegar. And then use about 2 tablespoons or an 1/8 cup of whatever flavored vinegar I'd like to. And I know there are people who, you can get vinegars that are flavored with bacon now, you can get them flavored with different things. This is a place where you can play with it. I wouldn't advise using one of those for the entire vinegar you're using, but it's your salad, you can do what you want. So you pour the vinegar in, you use a spoon, and you basically mix it up well. Try to keep it in the bowl. And it's ready for the refrigerator. These can be eaten, well, probably after 4 hours in the refrigerator, but really, to be really good, in my opinion, they need to be overnight. A cucumber and onion salad you make today should really be eaten tomorrow. Tomorrow's dinner, tomorrow's lunch. All right, this again is the muslin soaked in beeswax. It's made by the folks called Abigo. At Abigo, it's abigo.com. And I love this stuff, really I do. It's you can just press it over the container. It folds to it completely. You don't have to use plastic. And because it's beeswax, it's got all kinds of properties for food preservation in it. And once it's attached there, you put it in the refrigerator. So that's how to make a cucumber and onion salad. Thank you for coming to Arlington Cooks, and have a good day. Bye-bye.